Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we're on the starboard side of the O1 level of the superstructure, pretty far forward. I'll give you an idea of exactly where we are later on in the tour. But today we're going to show you something that you won't be able to see on your tour of the ship. Please, dear God, as you're going around the ship, don't try to open these to see what I'm going to show you. You could seriously harm yourself if you do this. But here in this passageway, we've got a ton of electrical cabling, as you can see, and so we've also got a ton of fuse boxes for those systems, and these are mostly feeding outlets and lighting systems and whatnot in the various officer staterooms that are here on the O1 level. Anyway, we were tracing out an electrical problem, as we do several times a week, every week. And we came to these boxes for the first time in a while, and in opening them up, we found that into the original paint on the inside of these, there are names chipped in. We've got a name here from October of 1955. We've got another one here from 1988, a second one from 88. That one, can't really tell. That might be a 91. Or it might be a 59. It's kind of hard to read these because of how they're chipped in. But these are the fuse boxes, and the inside is still painted in that original black color that these would have been sent to us from the manufacturer. You can tell the outside's been painted many times, and you can see on the box or where the paint's peeled that these used to be other colors or they were oversprayed and whatnot. But the insides never got that sort of work done, even though the ship has been around for 80 years. And so it's really cool to see that this original, I'm going to call it graffiti. Graffiti kind of has a negative connotation, and I don't want to give that connotation with this because I think it's super cool. And I also think it's completely reasonable. You're a sailor assigned to the ship is your home. You're going to be assigned on board for something like 2 years, and you're leaving. And you realize that your story is just a small part of the ship's larger story, but it is a part of that story, so you want to leave some evidence of yourself being here. Your name that goes on your locker or your bunk or whatever gets painted over and taken over by somebody else. But here, clearly, several consecutive generations of the crew discovered that this is somewhere where they can leave their mark. And I'm so glad that they did. As you know, we've got a signing wall on board where we intentionally ask our veterans to sign when they come on board. And you know, we estimate there's somewhere between 40 and 50,000 sailors and Marines who served on the ship throughout their career. And we've had somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000, so not even 10%, who have come back to visit the ship in the 20-some-odd years that we've been operating as a museum that have signed that wall. So a lot of those guys are at an age now where they won't be coming back. We see fewer and fewer World War II and Korean vets. So finding their names scratched in other places like this is really incredible. And in addition to the electrical boxes like these, this one's got a few in it, 1956. That one's also hard to read, 86. EM, so this one's doing some electrical work, makes sense that they're in the box. But in addition to places like this, we're also seeing their names written in places like the splinter deck or in fuel tanks and void spaces like that got primed when the ship was being built and might not have ever been painted again. And so we see their names Sharpied or penned on the walls in those spaces as well. People ask all the time if we have any, like Kilroy was here or anything like that. And we don't really have any. Wisconsin has like a cow logo that's Sharpied around the ship. We don't really have anything like that on board. We do have the ship's slogan from 1990-91 stenciled in a couple of pieces of artwork, which is wetsu. We eat this stuff up, but we don't tend to have anything like that graffitied around the ship. So it tends to just be guys' names, their ratings, and the time that they were on board. Let's go check out these boxes here. Every single box in this passageway has something in it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's quite a bit. This box is the same way too. Yeah, no, we've seen a lot of 56, 55, 52, 88. A lot of 50s and 80s, interestingly. So these boxes kind of give us an idea why it's the boxes here in this passageway that are so heavily graffitied versus boxes in other parts of the ship. Like we don't see this everywhere where we open up one of these. It seems to largely be this P-way. So why is that? Well, check it out. We got U.S. Marine Corps, USMC. We've got a tremendous amount of the Marines, which formed part of the ship's MARDET, signing these. And it's interesting, we're seeing this a lot in the 50s and the 80s. In the 60s, we don't have a MARDET on board. And it's kind of intriguing that we don't see any 40s. I don't have an answer for that one. But in the 50s, they start scratching their names in. And it seems very much like somebody opened this up and like, oh, other people have been doing this. Let me add mine to the story as well. And so that seems to be what we're seeing. And so why are we seeing that in this passageway? Oh, from right here, you can see the little podium thing where the Marine Guard would have stood right outside of the captain's cabin. So there were guys on guard duty here pretty consistently when the Marines were on board, and so they were standing in this P-way with not a whole heck of a lot to do otherwise. So I'm not sure if every Marine just got bored and started fiddling with things and then opened it up and found it, or if somebody opened it up and scratched their name in and then went back down and told all their buddies that they did that, and then as they rotated through the shifts, they start doing it as well. It is interesting that you see a succession of years on here, though, so it certainly isn't, oh yeah, one of the MARDETs went on and they all scratched their name at one time. No, this is progressively over time. It's cool to have the archaeology to be able to do that. If you serve on a ship or another similar structure and you're doing this, make sure you write the date there so that some curator like me can geek out about it and pick up as much information as they can later on. Also, don't be that guy who scratches your name in really huge and leaves no space for everyone else. These are all live electrical boxes, so I cannot stress this enough. Do not go around the tour route opening these up. We've opened these up for this video in particular. We're going to then close them again and seal them up. Do not try to mess with them when you come to take a tour of Battleship New Jersey or some other museum ship, because this is all live electrical stuff and you could seriously hurt yourself, or leave it unsecured and somebody behind you would hurt yourself. If we find you opening these up on the ship, we're going to throw you off. But that's the great thing about this channel, is that we can still put this information out there and you can see it, even though you'll never be able to see it during a tour of the ship. What are some other areas that you think we should look for graffiti? What do you think are some hidden spots that sailors might have signed their names or left some artwork or something like that that would not have been painted over? Let us know in the comment section down below. Maybe if there's any places, if you served on a ship or military installation or something like that, where you've graffitied before. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the ship and our channel. Thanks for watching.